Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hanuman. Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman. So last week we restarted the journey of Gita Ji. It has almost been 2 weeks now, 2 sessions. And we tried to get a gist of the background and the summary of the first chapter. What is the first chapter? As we discussed, it is Arjun Vishad Yoga. And Vishad is agony, and we can have many other words for it, but that is the name of the chapter. And we might have thought, what an unusual name to start the Gita with. But then, kahin na kahin, we are just like Arjun, right? We cannot claim to be all happy and joyous and blissful. So they are saying that this knowledge is for all of us, because कहीं ना कहीं हमारे मन में भी विषाद उठता है. So we understood the situation, and I'd like to clarify one more thing and correct it. While we were describing the chain of action and the struggle between the brothers, now Pandu and Dhritarashtra, the age, probably it is said that Pandu was older, or Dhritarashtra was older actually, and because of his vision, because he could not see, the throne was given to Pandu. There could be some disagreements over here, but later on it was said that the throne had to be given back to Yudhishthira and not Duryodhana. But over here I'd like to bring forth a disclaimer that it does not matter who is older, who is younger. The throne was to be given to an adhikari person, right? The person who can actually justify sitting on the throne. Because it is not about the family passing over the rule to the next person, but it is to be for the greater good. And if we take that perspective, Yudhishthira ji actually was the right person to be handed over the throne to. Right? So, वैसे भी ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. Succession planning should happen not based on the bloodline, but based on who is the righteous and the best ruler for a particular state or a country. And Hastinapur was no small place. So this is just to clarify from last week. And now, in a nutshell, I would like to read out, before we go on to the next chapter, that is chapter 2, a beautiful summary given by Swami Shivanand ji, right? Just going through this book, and I thought that he has summarized chapter 1 so beautifully, and we'll add one more point to it before we move on. He says, chapter 1 teaches humanity that when the mind is blinded with affection, right, and selfishness, as with Dhritarashtra, right, man will never bother about the welfare of others in the nation, which in result would ruin his own kith and kin as well as the whole nation. And that is what happened, right? We all know Mahabharata. When the mind is clouded with pride, jealousy, greed, crookedness, ego, desire for fame, name and power, as with Duryodhana, right? He wanted everything for himself. Man will not hesitate to destroy his own friends and relatives as well as the nation, which in the end results in his own destruction. Right? Duryodhana was so blinded by the want of power, he didn't care for the greater good. It was only his benefit that was visible to him. Then he says, when man fails to do his own duty, due to attachment and desire, like Arjun, he cannot utilize his own strength and courage. Attachment and excessive desires make us weak. Attachment is never our strength. Love is our strength. Attachment is our biggest weakness. And as we move on with Gita, and as we start doing understanding one verse at a time, we'll go deeper into this concept. When man fails to do his own duty due to the attachment and desire like Arjun, He cannot utilize his own strength and courage or feel the presence of God, even though the God is seated before him and ready to help him as Krishna. Attachment blinds us, right? तो हमें उस समय any good counsel, anybody sent by the Lord, कहते हैं ना, we do not know in which form the message of the Lord will come, but we'll be deaf to it and we would not be able to accept it. And that is what happened to Arjun. And when man is sincere, devoted to God, faithful to his master, desireless, and treats friends and foes alike, like Sanjay. Ab dekhiye, Sanjay is very important. He has the Divya Drishti from Ved Vyas ji, right? Dhritarashtra was too afraid to take it. Because somewhere, when you are wrong and when you are not righteous, your heart knows. Your conscience knows. And he does not want to see the destruction of his own children with his own eyes. So, though Ved Vyas ji offered the Divya Drishti to Dhritarashtra, he refused to take it and it was given to Sanjay. And so what they are saying is, if you are sincere like Sanjay, he will have peace of mind and see the cosmic form of the Almighty. Sanjay could see everything. He could hear everything. He could see the cosmic form. Later on, as we move on with the chapters, we'll see that he could see the cosmic form of Sri Krishna. Because why? He was sincere, devoted to God, faithful to his master. Who is his master? Dhritarashtra. He was faithful to his master. And he was desireless. So this is the characteristic of Sanjay. Because as we go on, we'll see, yes, Dhritarashtra Uvach came. Sanjay Uvach will come again and again. Where Sanjay speaks, Bhagavan Uvach will come again and again. Then yes, Arjun Uvach, where Arjun speaks, will come again and again. So these are the main people who are talking. So in a nutshell, this chapter, chapter 1, explains that duality is the root cause of suffering of humanity. Duality, isn't it? See, we can take it from two perspectives. Duality, where we are not one in thought, word and deed. हमारा दिल कुछ और चाहता है, हमारा मन कुछ और चाहता है, हम कुछ और चाहते हैं, right? Because ना तो हम हमारा दिल है, ना हमारा मन है, we are the soul, हम कुछ और चाहते हैं. So there is no alignment. Or duality in the sense when we see two and not one. Now Arjun was awakened by Sri Krishna when he took the chariot in the middle and he said, मुझे देखना है, I want to see my army and their army. Right? Krishna, इधर Krishna Uvach नहीं है लिखा हुआ in chapter 1, but Sanjay says, Sri Krishna says, look Arjun, on both sides Kuruvanshis are standing. And that triggered a deep anxiety in him because he realized that the battle is not with others. दोनों तरफ मेरे ही लोग खड़े हैं, right? And we discussed it in great detail. And I am fighting and I'm going to kill the dearest people to me. That vision of duality was removed, right? So that duality is different where he could see only one. But the duality they are talking over here, Shivanand ji is talking over here, is that this chapter explains the duality is the root cause of suffering of humanity. All the suffering of Arjun explained above is the result of dualistic character in his personality. जैसे disharmony between his mind and his heart. दिल कुछ चाह रहा है, मन कुछ कर रहा है, but my brain, my vivek is saying नहीं, हमें ये नहीं करना है. Thought and feeling. So duality, difference between mind, thought, feeling and heart. The mind of Arjun insists on performing the duty of a Kshatriya, which we are going to talk about now, to destroy the unrighteous enemy. The heart craves for love and wants to protect the relatives and the teachers from destruction. This internal disharmony creates an imbalance between his physical, mental, intellectual, moral and spiritual level. And that is where the chapter ends, where there is total disharmony. Arjun is not able to act. Uska gala sukh jata hai. Gandhi, if he puts down the Gandhi, if he feels giddy, because there is so much of disharmony between him. And isn't that the case with us also? Most of the time we are torn between multiple places, multiple people, multiple actions, multiple situations, never one. So the situation, and why is chapter 1 important? Because it tells us that this Gita is applicable to me as it was applicable to Arjun. And with this thought, and with this understanding that Gita is the song of God, right? Krishna himself is singing this song. And who is answering? Who is asking? It is all of us. Arjun, on behalf of all of us, is asking these questions. So now Arjun, as we enter chapter 2, it is known as Sankhya Yoga, right? Sankhya Yoga. So Sankhya Yoga mein, why the name Sankhya, we'll understand in a while. So the second chapter is known as Sankhya Yoga. And it starts with Sanjay telling Dhritarashtra ki dekho, now the Gandiv is been put down, the bow is down, he is not picking up, he is not standing up, he is refusing to fight, and he has turned towards Krishna, and no matter what, he has given so many explanations. Many a times don't we deceive ourselves? हम अपने आप को ही झुटला देते हैं explanations दे दे के कि हम क्यों कर रहे हैं ये चीज, एंड इसके पीछे ये कारण है, एंड हम उसको जस्टिफाई करते हैं. कई बार करते हैं ना, knowing that that justification is not right. So Sanjay has witnessed everything, and Dhritarashtra, while hearing this, is very happy. He's saying, chalo, without the battle, Arjun will accept defeat, he's going to run away, and khatam, my children will be victorious. This is the thought going on in Dhritarashtra's heart. And Arjun says that, look at him, he's pitiable, he's crying, he's agitated. This state of Arjun nobody has ever seen, and I feel if this continues, Arjun will not fight. Dhritarashtra is overjoyed. But वो भूल गए कि when his son Duryodhan chose the Narayani Sena, Arjun was mindful enough to choose God. Because Krishna ne bola tha, what is the point? You are getting the first chance, right? When they walked in, as we discussed last week, when they walked in, Arjun sat by the feet and Duryodhan by the head. So when the Lord opened his eyes, he saw Arjun first and he said, okay, tell me, what have you come for? Do you want the army or do you want me? And I'm not going to pick up any weapon. I'm not going to fight. So Arjun said, it does not matter. See, this is the attitude we have to move on with. God, it does not matter. Because whether we like it or not, this understanding that the Lord is a witness. हमें ना एक भ्रम हो गया है कि when we are, and this has been told to us many times, that when you are in a situation, the Lord will act and the situation will be. पर आपको पता है ये जो काल चक्र है ना, इसमें he does not interfere. He is a drishta. He is a drishta, he is a witness, he is watching. In spite of that, just like he says ना, मैं कुछ करने वाला नहीं हूं, मैं वेपन उठाने वाला नहीं हूं, मैं तुम्हारी सुरक्षा करने वाला नहीं हूं, तुम मेरी सेना ले लो. अर्जुन से आप कुछ भी मत करना. जब मेरे को तकलीफ हो प्रभु, आप कुछ भी मत करना. मेरी तकलीफों को, मेरे मन को हल्का मत करना. But the fact that you are going to be standing with me is going to be enough. आपका जब साया मेरे साथ में होगा ना, आपका हाथ मेरे सर पे होगा ना, मुझे अपने आप ही ताकत आ जाएगी कार्य करने की. How does it matter? And then how does it matter what the situation gives us? So Arjun was mindful. He chose Sri Krishna. And Duryodhan chose the Narayani Sena. It was very strong. It was never defeated. It had never been defeated in any war. Krishna's Sena. And he was like, what? Arjun is so silly. He is choosing Krishna, who is not going to fight, over the Sena who has always been victorious. Now we will see who is silly later. Because now, when Arjun is done with his talking, total rambling, मतलब उसने अपना दिल खोल के पूरी चीज बता दी, जस्टिफाई भी कर दिया, सब कुछ कर दिया और रख दिया गांडीव कि अब तो मैं नहीं लड़ूंगा. At that time, when he was totally at his lowest, the Lord started speaking. In the second verse of chapter 2, Shri Krishna बोलना शुरू करते हैं. And that is where he starts. And how does he start? See, It is so beautiful. He starts by rebuking Arjun. He's not consoling, he's not cajoling, he rebukes Arjun. He calls him a coward, he calls him a napunsak, he calls him the choicest of names. He calls him Bhiru ki ye tumhare mein ye kaise aa gaya? Matlab, this is not the Arjun I knew. So the Lord rebukes Arjun in the first 2 verses to jolt him out. That this is not the Arjun. This is not the Arjun. This is not my Mitra. This is not the Arjun I chose. You are a coward. You're talking like a coward. I don't know where this is coming from. That is what Shri Krishna says. He's shocked. He's surprised. He's saying, I never knew that you could talk like this. And then Arjun says, कि Shri Krishna, what is the use? इस battle का क्या फायदा है? द्रोणाचार्य, कृपाचार्य, भीष्म, ये मेरे पितामह हैं. They are supposed to be worshipped, not hurt. You know what, Krishna? He says very beautifully, I would rather go around with a begging bowl. Right? I'd rather go around with a begging bowl rather than fight with them and win. Because they are supposed to be taken care of, not fought with in the battle. And he's convinced. He's convinced of his stance. And he said, what benefit will I get? Again he's saying, I don't even know. Now he's saying, till you took my chariot to the middle of the battlefield, I knew that I am fighting a righteous battle. I am fighting for my rights, for the land. They have been unjust to us. But now I don't know whether this battle should be fought or not. And over here he says, I can scarcely say which will be better, that we should conquer them or we should be defeated by them or we should just run away. मुझे पता ही नहीं है. मतलब इतना सोच समझ के they came to the middle of the battlefield, the battle day, on the day of the battle he is having these doubts. He says, now I do not know whether I should fight or not. And his heart, his heart is being actually overpowered by attachment. His vision, his vivek is gone. He is not thinking out of discrimination because of excessive attachment. That is jumping on his head right now. सोचो क्या हो सकता है? And Shri Krishna is listening. अभी भी सुन रहे हैं कि ठीक है, even now if you want to talk, you talk. But finally, after saying all this, something dawns in his mind. And he says, when I cannot take a decision, when I do not know what is right or wrong, I do not know which way to go, I will leave it to you. See, till we know, we know. Our journey begins when we don't know anything. And that is the beauty of scriptures. That is the beauty of Gita or any other scripture we may pick up, be it the Ramayana or the Purans. As we walk the path, as we move forward, we will know less and less and we'll say, oh my God, इतना पढ़ लिया, अब समझ आ रहा है कि मुझे कुछ पता ही नहीं है. And this is the stage at which Arjun reached. In verse number 7, he says, कि listen, I do not know anything. अभी तक I knew कि I am fighting this battle and it is right. Then I knew that I am not going to fight this battle, it is wrong. And suddenly now in my mind, after that rebuke from the Lord, he says that I think I don't know. And that is when the Lord starts working. Till you know, उनका कोई काम ही नहीं है. Because you're capable, ना? You know, तो करो. But verse 7 में when he says कि अब मुझे कुछ नहीं पता, he says, I am thy disciple, right? Instruct me. I have taken refuge in thee. I am your disciple. मैंने आप में शरणागति ले ली है. I have surrendered to you. Please show me the way, because I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I do not know what has to be done, what is right or what is wrong. I will go by what you say. And that is when the Lord starts speaking and sharing. And because he asked for it, he was ready for it. Till we are full of ourselves, the Lord won't answer, the Lord won't talk. It is when we are empty like that flute that is when the Lord takes charge. And then slowly, with a smile on his face, it is said very clearly, he has a smile on his face. He turns to Arjun and he says, don't worry. There is no need to be sorrowful. And at this moment, Sanjay sees the turning point and he reports it back to Dhritarashtra. Ki Krishna ne bola. Now Krishna is talking, and that is when Dhritarashtra realizes the battle is lost. No matter what happens, Arjun will not retreat, Arjun will not run away, Arjun will stay there. And that is when Dhritarashtra realizes the folly of his son. कि जब मौका था तब कृष्ण को क्यों नहीं चुना. And that is the big question in front of all of us. आज हमारे पास में मौका है तो हम सब कुछ चुन लेते हैं, भगवान को क्यों नहीं चुनते? क्यों नहीं चुनते? Because we see strength in other things and the name of the God and that moment with him seems weak. See, we are no different from Duryodhan. The story is ours. The story is just ours. And till we listen to it like our story, we'll learn from it. But if we listen to it as their story, it will just become another narration. So, now the Lord spoke. After Arjun said, I will not fight, and he became silent. Now you tell me what to do. And at that time, Lord says, don't grieve. And what are you grieving for? So this is the part. Okay, now this chapter 2 is kind of a total discourse. Now this is all that the Lord had to say. Once we start reading a lot of scriptures, right? अगर आप अलग अलग ग्रंथ पढ़ना शुरू करेंगे तो आपको रियलाइज होगा कि नॉलेज वही है, उसको अलग अलग तरह से समझाया जा रहा है, राइट? तो was chapter till chapter 18 needed? If Arjun would have understood chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5 would not have come in place. But the problem was that Arjun did not understand. So he said, I'll explain it to you. And after chapter 2, he could have started fighting, but he did not understand. So in a way, it could be the summary of the entire Gyan of the Ved and Purans and everything. And that was enough. So he starts. And where does he start? The division is very simple. If you want to write it down, it will help. From 1 to 10, it is just still Krishna rebuking, Sanjay reporting, and Arjun is cribbing. He's still not sure. But he's sure of only one thing, that I am going to surrender to you. And you are my guru and I am your disciple. That is the only surety he has. The rest he is not sure about. And then from verse 11 to 30, Sri Krishna is going to talk about the soul. We are going to come, the nature of the soul. And then from verse 31 to 38, he is going to talk about our duty. Or we may say Arjun's duty as a Kshatriya. And then from verse number 39 to 50, and that is where we are going to end our summary, because after that we are going to go in depth with every verse. From verse number 39 to around 50, he is going to talk about Karma Yoga, selfless action. कि कर्म कैसे किया जाता है. But not to worry, because after this, chapter 3 is an entire chapter on Karma Yoga only. Because this is just the tip of the iceberg, and then he'll go deep with every chapter. So how does he start? And we'll cover it very lucidly, because this is something most of us know, and it is as simple as the thing that we keep saying, I am the soul. Krishna says, in simple words, if Krishna is telling us that you are the soul, you're not the body, you're not the mind, you're not the thought. आप ये आत्मा हो, ये शरीर आप नहीं हो. आप ये आपका जो थॉट्स है वो आप नहीं हो, जो विचार आपके मन में आ रहे हैं वो आप नहीं हो. आप आत्मा हो, इस शरीर से परे हो, right? And so Krishna says कि listen Arjun, why should you be grieving so much? The soul never dies, right? ये तो ना जन्म लेती है ना मरती है. It is eternal. It was always there. It is always going to be there. So whom are you weeping for? ये तो नश्वर ही नहीं है. You cannot, can anybody, Shri Krishna says in simple words, verse by verse, he is trying to explain it to Arjun. that can anybody actually burn the soul with fire or cut it with a sword or soak it or bury it? No. It is that bliss that is eternal. That is what everybody is, a soul. So the grieving that I'll be killing somebody, I'll be killing my guru, I'll be killing my relative should not come, because they are all souls. They are not destructible. They are ever there. And he explains, do you know, the soul goes from one birth to another birth and to another birth, and it is taking different bodies based on its own journey, karmic journey, right? Based on its own journey, the soul is born in different forms, different shapes, different situations, different places. Why are you weeping? It is as simple as changing clothes. And in so many words he says this. Just like one changes clothes, the soul changes bodies. And you know when the soul leaves? When the work it had come for is complete, the soul departs to the next journey. It is as simple as that. So what are you grieving for? It is not you who is going to kill them. Ultimately, अगर उनकी जर्नी अभी खत्म हो गई है, तो whether you are involved or not, they would go on. And later on, in one of the chapters when he goes in depth, he says कि, you know, look Arjun, they are already dead. इनको तो मैं कब का मार चुका हूं. Because that is their destiny. हो गया. तुम करो ना करो, ये तो होने वाला है. This time, when the time comes, they will go. They will drop this body and they will go. But don't grieve. Because आत्मा अजर अमर है, इसको कुछ नहीं होगा. And then he says, do you know, Arjun, very simply he says, कि what is it that causes all the sorrow and everything that you're feeling right now? It is not the soul. The soul is not feeling any sorrow. The soul is not feeling any joy. The soul is not feeling any hatred. The soul is not feeling any defeat also right now. It is the senses. And हमने अब disclaimer पहले ही दे दिया श्री कृष्ण ने कि तुम आत्मा हो, शरीर नहीं हो. And ये जो शरीर है उसकी senses है. कर्म इंद्रिया, ज्ञान इंद्रिया, ये शरीर की है, आत्मा की नहीं है. Right? So what causes sorrow? What causes joy? The senses, when they come in touch with the object. Object is outside, right? And so many words it's saying, when the senses come in touch with the object, it causes different emotions. The soul is not involved at all. In simple words, if we say, right, what causes sorrow is the connection of expectation to what? The expectation and the result. There is nothing to do with the soul. It is the expectation of this body, the mind and the thought, and it comes out and connects with the objects outside, be it people, be it place, be it thing, and then the emotions are caused, but the soul is indifferent to it. So whatever you are feeling is actually not real. Again he says, there is no reality in what you are feeling also. He's saying, try to differentiate between the real and the unreal. Everything that you see, it is known as prapanch, is unreal. What is real is the soul, and it is not going to die. So drop this sorrow. There is no point. And इतनी सारी वर्सेस में आप बोलेंगे क्या 11 से 30 में उनने यही बोला है? हाँ, उनने यही बोला है. The thing is, sometimes, you know, what we do is analysis becomes paralysis. I was just wondering. Sometimes we say ना कि 700 verses में उनने कैसे बोल दिया? हाँ, उनने बोल दिया. और from 11 to 30th verse, he has just said one thing. The soul is real, the body is unreal, the soul is eternal. Why are you weeping for something which is eternal? Till a little verses before. Because उनको realize हुआ कि the language of the soul and soul being eternal, probably Arjun has not understood. Because he is too connected. Our conditioning is such that we do not know. We cannot differentiate. And we think we are the body, we are the senses, we are the emotions that are uprising in ours. So Arjun also could not comprehend this language of the Lord. So then the Lord kept quiet for a bit. And he said, ठीक है. If you feel that the soul being eternal, the world being unreal, the emotions being unnatural, because they are just between the sense and the object. If this does not agree with you right now, Arjun, leave it. But tell me one thing, is anybody who is born eternal? ऐसा कोई है जो हमेशा जीवित रह सकता है? नहीं ना. जिसने जन्म लिया है उसकी मृत्यु निश्चित है. That is the second phase. He explains कि whoever has taken birth will die, and he is going to die based on when his journey is over. So you do not have anything to do with it. तुम निमित्त हो. See what happened is, हम अपने आप को कर्ता समझ लेते हैं. This is going to be explained. कर्ता भाव जब आता है ना हमारे अंदर कि मैंने किया, अब अर्जुन में कर्ता भाव आ गया था कि I am fighting this battle, I am going to kill him, I am going to defeat them. This big I, Sri Hari is saying, is not there. You are not doing anything. Neither are they. ये सब हो रहा है. एंड जैसे ही कर्ता भाव आता है ना, all these emotions of anxiety and ego, you know, that feeling that of pride also comes with the karta bhav. So he is saying that you are the soul, they are the soul, ये तो रहेंगे हमेशा हैं, तुम कुछ कर ही नहीं रहे हो. You are saying I'm going to kill them, they are not going to die. So अर्जुन में जो है वो कर्ता भाव आ गया कि I am going to do it. Sri Hari is saying you are not doing anything. And even for once, if you think that they are going to, you know, they have taken this body and they are going to leave this body, it is going to happen based on their journey. Plus, tell me one thing, is anybody permanent? जो आया है वो जाएगा. The minute we are born, the date of our exit is already written. Who are you, Arjun, to decide who you are killing and who you are saving? And tell me one thing, come to think of it, he says once again, कि ये पहले भी नहीं थे. अगर if you are thinking that soul is eternal and this thing is not agreeing with you, okay, let me tell you, were Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya there before? They were not, right? थोड़ा सा समय है. You know what is human life? इतना सा. We breathe and we die. कुछ भी नहीं है. We think our existence is so much. हम इतने हैं, हम ये कर लेंगे, वो कर लेंगे. आपकी existence इस सृष्टि में कुछ भी नहीं है. You come and you go and nobody even comes to know. तो he saying ये पहले भी नहीं थे, आगे भी नहीं होंगे. What difference will it make? इनका जो थोड़ा सा अस्तित्व है उससे क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा? तो अल्टीमेटली ये पहले भी नहीं थे, आगे भी नहीं होंगे. Arjun is listening, but he is not able to comprehend this. Because it's not easy to comprehend. You know, कोई हमारे को बोल दे कि तुम्हारा अस्तित्व कुछ नहीं है, indirectly. तुम पहले भी नहीं थे, आगे भी नहीं होगे. अभी थोड़ा सा तुम्हारी एग्जिस्टेंस है, उससे सृष्टि में कोई फर्क पड़ना नहीं है. एकदम से हमें लगेगा ना, ये क्या, ईगो हर्ट हो जाएगी. हम भी तो हैं, हमारे साथ जो हो रहा है उसका कारण है. हम भी तो कुछ कर ही रहे हैं, हमें भी कुछ कर दिखाना है. हम कुछ कर दिखा नहीं सकते. जो होना है वो होगा, हम बस निमित्त मात्र हैं. It is like, very simple, he is saying, Arjun, you are upon, be upon. There is another hand which is moving the entire thing. तुम बस चलते चलो, चलते चलो. Arjun is scared. When somebody tells you all this on the face, that person is going to get scared. It is normal. And when the Lord realizes कि probably this is not doing what I was supposed to do, because उसमें वो गांडीव वापस उठाने की शक्ति ये सब सुन के नहीं आई है. Maybe this knowledge is not for him right now. He is not ready for this knowledge. So he brings it down again. And he says, Arjun, you are a Kshatriya, right? Just imagine, from this very high knowledge of Sankhya, where he is talking about witness and prapanch, and he is talking about the soul being undestructible from this body, कि जब जीवित हो तब मृत्यु हो गई, शरीर ही तो है, शरीर ही तो त्यागोगे. He realized that Arjun is not receptive of this right now. अर्जुन को ये बात नहीं समझ आ रही है. So he brings it down immediately. Verse 31 में he changes. कितना प्यारे होते हैं ना ये गुरु और भगवान, कैसे भी करके समझाने की कोशिश करते हैं. वो शुरू कहाँ से हुए थे और एकदम से नीचे आ गए, बोले अर्जुन तुम क्षत्रिय हो ना। एक दोस्त है ना अर्जुन उनका, बोला अर्जुन तू तो क्षत्रिय है, ये तेरा धर्म है, क्या लड़ेगा नहीं? एंड आई कैन इमेजिन हिम टॉकिंग टू अर्जुन लाइक दिस बिकॉज ही इज हिज फ्रेंड, राइट? तो तू लड़ेगा नहीं अर्जुन, तो खड़ा नहीं होगा, यू आर गोइंग टू डिसअपॉइंट एवरीबॉडी, एंड दिस इज व्हाट ही इज सेइंग इन सो मेनी वर्ड्स कि यू आर गोइंग टू डिसअपॉइंट एवरीबॉडी। आज सब लोग तुम्हारे कारण यहाँ पे खड़े हैं, तुम्हारी ताकत के बल पे तुम्हारी सेना खड़ी है, तुम भाग जाओगे अर्जुन। एंड यू नो व्हाट विल हैपन अर्जुन, जैसे बच्चों को समझाते हैं ना कि अगर आपने ऐसा किया तो क्या होगा, श्री कृष्ण बोलते हैं देख अर्जुन युद्ध तो हार जाएंगे, है ना, और जो मानहानि होगी वो you are going to be ridiculed from generation to generation कि you are a coward and you ran away. Kshatriya ko being a coward, he won't like it, right? So he's trying to use another word. Because people are going to say you were a coward, you were selfish, you left in the middle of the battle. No Kshatriya can ever do it. Arjun, will you do that? This is your duty. He brings it down to the duty. He says तुम्हारा धर्म है. See, हर किसी का अपना अपना धर्म होता है. And very simply, just imagine when just bring it down to a very simple level. A soldier is standing at the border and suddenly he says मैं नहीं लड़ सकता. अरे तुम सामने आके खड़े क्यों हुए थे फिर? नहीं आते. अर्जुन सामने आके खड़ा हो गया है, युद्ध चालू होने वाला है, शंख गान हो गया, बोला मैं नहीं लड़ूंगा. What happened? जब प्लानिंग चल रही थी तभी मना कर देते. And that is how Krishna is saying कि अब कैसे नहीं लड़ेगा. Literally in crude language he's saying this, and you're standing in the middle of the battlefield. This is your dharma, this is your duty, you are accountable to so many people. Arjuna is still sitting, from verse 31 to 38 Krishna is trying this, to jolt him, tell him. And see, this can be applied to us also. Many a times, what we do is we use spirituality as an escapism. कि ठीक है यार, ये भी नहीं हो रहा, वो भी नहीं हो रहा, वो भी नहीं हो रहा, चलो हम ये कर लेते हैं. नहीं, क्या अर्जुन में बी somewhere is he trying to escape? Is he trying to just shrug his responsibility? So we have to understand for ourselves. Nowhere in our scriptures they tell us to leave what we are and where we have been placed. कई बार होता है ना spirituality है, we will end up getting away from our duties. No. When you feel that way कि शायद गीता ज्ञान क्या रामायण का ज्ञान हमें हमारे कर्तव्य से परे कर देगा, और he is going to, like, whatever be our duty as a mother or in the office or as a bahu or whatever it is, will spirituality take you away from your duty? No. It is going to make sure that you do your duty with the best of your ability. So over here he's saying your duty is of a Kshatriya, and Kshatriya is meant to protect. And you have to fight. You cannot shrug your duty and run away. And we all have to remember, we cannot shrug our duty. God has placed us in a place, in a situation. We have to actually work on it to the best of our ability. चाहे वो जो भी situation हो, जो भी जगह हो, जो भी role which has been given to you. And this is what Sri Hari is telling him. But Arjuna is still not moved. He says कि तुम नर्क में जाओगे. If you run away from this battle, now he's scaring him a little bit, you'll go to hell. And if you win this battle, you'll get glory. And if you die fighting this battle, you'll go to heaven and you'll get glory. Why do you want to go to hell, Arjun? Why do you want to become a sinner? But Sri Hari tries and tries and tries, and he realizes even this is not working. Because Arjun is still sitting blank, not wanting to get up, not wanting to move. His face has not brightened at all. So the Lord changes the direction again. And now he says, कि ठीक है, the reality of the soul and the body did not work. Me rebuking you did not work initially. Me telling you that you have to fulfill your duty to the best of your ability did not work. The threat that you'll go to hell and you will get defamed, people will look down on you, did not work. So अब मैं क्या करूं? Oh, he thinks from the verse 39 to verse 53. he talks about yoga. And which yoga does he talk about? Karma yoga. Karma yoga. But not karma yoga the way we understand it. कई बार हम सोचते हैं हम अपना कर्म कर रहे हैं. निस्वार्थ कर्म करना पड़ता है. Selfless action. Where you do not want to have any share or do not want to think about the fruit of the action. Selfless action. So he starts talking about Karma Yoga. And there he builds up कि what is कर्म. कर्म कैसे करना चाहिए. अभी right now Arjun, before doing the action, has already thought about the result, isn't it? Now how does he know कि who will die, who will live? He has decided that when I fight the battle, this is what is going to happen. So Sri Hari says, how do you know what the result is going to be? You have the right on the action, but you do not have the right on the result. You do not have the right on the fruit. तो तुम्हारा अधिकार सिर्फ कर्म करने में है अर्जुन. उठो, तुम तुम्हारा कर्म करो. Haven't we realized that most sages are not inert? They are the most active. सब जान के भी what is real, what is unreal, वो लगे हुए हैं कर्म में. Because कर्म से कोई नहीं बच सकता. If we have taken birth, हमें कर्म तो करना ही पड़ेगा. And Sri Krishna goes on to say, doing no work is also a karma. Is it also an action of not doing any work? So we cannot be free of action at all. Right? So कर्म तो हमें करना ही पड़ेगा. So keeping in mind, Arjun, now broaden your horizon. You are not fighting for the injustice done to you. You are fighting a righteous war. तुम धर्म युद्ध लड़ रहे हो. अब कर्म बता रहे हैं कि तुम धर्म युद्ध लड़ रहे हो. तुम अधर्म के अगेंस्ट लड़ रहे हो. तुम तुम्हारे लिए नहीं लड़ रहे हो. And this is, I think, very essential. If Arjun was scared because he thought he is fighting for the injustice done to him, Sri Hari reminds him, it is not the injustice done to you. You are fighting to destroy adharma. The cause is greater than you, Arjun. It is not for your rights that we are standing here, because later on we do not want adharma to rule. धर्म का नाश नहीं होने देना है हमें. हमें अधर्म का नाश करना है और धर्म की रक्षा करनी है. That is the cause you are standing here with. It is not your petty family disagreements that you are standing here for. तुम धर्म युद्ध लड़ रहे हो. एंड अगर तुम धर्म युद्ध लड़ रहे हो तो तुम पीछे नहीं हट सकते. अर्जुन, he talks beautifully in a nutshell. हम ज्यादा इसको नहीं बोलेंगे, but what is कर्म and what is, can we say कि if we have conducted a certain, we have done a certain action, the result and the fruit has to be like this? We can't. And we'll take a small story from Mahabharata only. Later on in Mahabharata, when all this happened, the war started, and Bhishma Pitama was lying on the shayya of the arrows, right? And he asked कि मैंने तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं करा अर्जुन, कृष्ण, जिसके कारण मुझे ये सजा मिलनी चाहिए. See, he had ichha mrityu, and he could see his past births also, because he was so pious. So he went one birth after another, actually seeing कि कहाँ मेरे कर्म में गड़बड़ हो गई थी, जिसके कारण I have been punished to this extent. I am suffering so much right now. And Shri Krishna says, go one more birth behind. In that particular birth, you had pierced an insect. Knowingly, unknowingly, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. You had done it. And almost, some say 70 years, some say 90 years, some say 99 births later, not years, births, he was receiving the result or the fruit of that action. See, fruit can be bitter or sweet, right? जरूरी नहीं है कि अच्छा ही हो तो fruit होता है, बुरा हो तो नहीं. He got the fruit of the action. So this karmic theory, the way we consider it, is sometimes instant, sometimes it's not. It could lie dormant for a very long time. And suddenly, we will face the music, or we'll face the result of our action which was done so many births back. So how do you know ki what should be the fruit, what should be the result, what should be given to you, how you should be treated, how you should be benefited? You have no right because you don't have the knowledge. कहते हैं ना, खबर नहीं कल की, पल की बात करे कल की. Now अर्जुन को आदि मध्य अंत का ज्ञान ही नहीं है. क्या हमें ज्ञान है? पहले क्या हुआ था, आगे क्या होने वाला है, अभी 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 10 मिनट बाद हम क्या करने वाले हैं? We don't know it. So the Lord says you do not know the entire picture. So the only right that you have, O Arjun, is on the action. To get up and तुम तुम्हारा कर्म करो. Don't analyze so much. Don't think so much. You have been put in a situation and you have the only right you have is on the action. You do not have any right on the fruit of the action. You do not have any right on the result. And to a certain extent, you do not even have the right on the karma. वो जैसे तुम्हारे हाथ से होना है ना, वैसे मैं करवा दूंगा. तुम तो बस खड़े हो जाओ. और तुम नहीं लड़े तो कोई और तरीका निकल जाएगा इनको मारने का. तुम्हें क्या लगता है कि if you move away from the battle, which you can't, because it's already designed. तुम चाहे कुछ ही कर लो, you will be standing in this battle and fighting. But if for 1 minute I think that you will be removed from the battle, you think they'll be saved? They won't be saved. So Arjun, get up. Selfless action. And what is selfless action? It is very simple. He brings forth the Vedas also over here, Shri Krishna. He said, kahin jagah Ved mein, when we are reading the, when we are reading a different chopais, when we are reading different shrutis, last mein falashruti aati hai. Ki if you do this, this is going to be the result. If you do this, you are going to get this. If you do Jagdish Aarti, this is what is going to happen to you. So he says कि जो वेद भी पढ़ रहा है और कुछ फल की आशा से पढ़ रहा है, तो वो गलत कर रहा है. If you are doing good action also, hoping that you will get heaven, hoping that you will get accolades, hoping that you will, accumulate punya, there you are wrong. No matter what you are doing, it could be the best of thing. The minute the result, not even the result, the desire for the result comes in, the action is not considered good anymore and you are not considered knowledgeable anymore. So the action has to be selfless. And you cannot get attached to the action also. देखिए कई बार होता है ना, हम कुछ कर रहे होते हैं ना, हमें उस चीज से प्यार हो जाता है. तो अर्जुन को बोल रहे तुम डिटैच होके लड़ो, बस लड़ो. You should not say कि I like this or I don't like this. You are doing it. Fight in a detached manner. Don't get attached to the war also. Don't get attached to the fight also. Don't get attached to your action also. कर्म करो, कर्म से आसक्त मत हो. होता है ना, मैं कितना अच्छा कर्म कर रहा हूं, मुझे ये करना बहुत अच्छा लगता है, आसक्ति हो गई ना, कर्म योग खत्म हो गया. कई बार हम कहते हैं ना हम तो कर्म योगी हैं. Many people I heard here saying we are कर्म yogis. कर्म योग is the most difficult of the yogs. Just imagine you cannot get attached to the action. You cannot develop a liking towards what you are doing. You have to stay neutral. So what he's saying, fight the battle staying neutral. Fight the battle without any emotion. Fight the battle without any worry of whether we'll gain, lose, we'll get fame, defame, whether we'll get sukh or dukh out of it. कुछ नहीं, तुम बस लड़ो. And this is all that is to Karma Yoga. Don't get attached to the action. Do the action in a very neutral way. Don't think about the result. Don't worry about the result. Don't expect any fruit. Just act in the situation you have been put in. And this, he says, when you can accomplish this, koi bhi sukh, dukh, name, fame, defame, nothing is going to be able to touch you. And then you'll become sthit prajna. आप स्थित हो जाओगे. And that is where Arjun speaks suddenly. Arjun is now getting interested. When he was talking about the soul, he did not get interested. When he was talking about his duty, he did not get interested. When the Lord started giving a bit of the Karma Yoga, his face came up a little. He looked at the Lord. And when he talked about this kind of a person who is sthit, nothing moves him, उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, वो स्थित रहते हैं, सम रहते हैं. तो you know what Arjun asked? He said, can you please explain कि what is the characteristic of this kind of a person? मैं जानना चाहता हूं ये उठता कैसे है, बैठता कैसा है, चलता कैसे है, बोलता कैसे है, रहता कैसे है. आप कृष्ण मुझे थोड़ा और इनके बारे में बताइए. फाइनली द लॉर्ड सेज कि चलो कुछ तो उसको समझ आया. And the rest, we are going to go in depth verse by verse, right? Is going to be about this kind of a person who is sthit, who is sum, who is unmoved, no matter what the situation. And that is what Arjun wants to know. कि ये बंदा, ये कैसे मैं बन सकता हूँ? ये कैसा होता है? So now the Lord says, okay. Now he is responding. होता है ना, like the doctor, Shri Krishna is acting like a doctor over here. Different treatments, कुछ तो लगेगा ना. So he tried giving one treatment that did not work. The second treatment is not working. The third treatment, the patient is responding. We are all patients, right? And this is our medicine. And Shri Krishna is our doctor. हमें इन 18 चैप्टर्स में से कोई एक तो लग जाएगा ना मन में. And that's it. So he'll cover so much. He'll cover karma yoga, bhakti yoga, everything. He's going to cover different topics. And we are going to go verse by verse from now on. And we'll see that the doctor is trying so hard to get us rid of these 3 illnesses. What are these 3 illnesses? 3 ताप हैं. आदि दैविक, आध्यात्मिक, and आदि भौतिक. And these 3 taps we are going to talk about in the next class and move forward verse by verse to understand who is a sthit person and how does he act. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman.